Hey, how you doing? It's Andrew, the Amazon expert here again. And today, this is video 2, if you like, on looking at profit and cost. Now, this is looking at profit and cost if you're going to use something like Amazon Fulfillment Services, or you're going to use an independent fulfillment service. And you'll see what I mean as soon as we get into the numbers. So what I think we'll do is we'll get back onto the computer and go and have a look and play about with some numbers. Okay, the key thing to remember here is, doesn't matter what currency we're in, whether it's pounds, dollars, euros, rupees, whatever your currency is, it is all the same. Okay, the exercise is the same. So what we're looking here is same as before. We've got the stock cost, we've got your selling price, and what we have here is a slight difference because we have got here, oops, let's highlight that colour for a minute. We've got here your storage cost, your pick and pack cost, your consumables and your packaging. Now, depending on who you're going to use will depend on how the costs will be formatted. So what's going to happen is you're going to have a storage cost for anything you put into storage. Now, what they will normally do is work on the volume of the product. Now, Amazon, it's very, very clear, and we'll go into an exercise on another video where we'll look at Amazon storage costs. But Amazon is very clear. They charge you so much pence or cents per unit that you have on the shelf based on how much room the unit is taking up. So your measurements of the item are very important. Now, also, you've got to remember, how are you sending it into them packaged? Because if you're going to send it into a fulfillment house, it needs to have a barcode on it, and it also needs to have a SKU code on it, and it also needs to be able to be put on a shelf. So don't just think I'm going to send raw product in without any packaging. If you're selling bone china mugs, don't just send a box of 12 bone china mugs with no packaging. Try and send them in so that they're already individually boxed, almost ready for shipping. So they're going to sit on the shelf and they're going to go out straight away in the additional packaging Amazon or the fulfillment house are going to use. So you're still going to get a pick and pack cost, and that's going to be straightforward, and that may depend on the size of the actual product that you're sending in. Larger items will attract a larger pick cost for obvious reasons. Consumables, well, the consumables are normally going to be possibly the bubble wrap. It could be the paper that they're going to use, anything else that they're putting in which they're going to charge you for. Different companies work in different ways, but you need to be aware of this. Also, packaging, are they going to be using a box, a grey bag, a mailer? What is it that they're using? You may have that as a cost. Now, Amazon are very good. They've got their cost price model sorted so it's fairly simple once you understand it. It takes a little while to get round it and to get used to it, but once you're there, you're away. Obviously, then you've got all the other fees that we talked about beforehand, including the free postage and packing, which, as you know, doesn't really exist. If you're using a fulfillment house, you can always elect to have your returns sent directly to them, and they're going to handle those returns. So you may remember I was working on 2% return rate before. In my business, I never managed to get above 1% returns. My return rate was always below 1%, 0.78, 0.89, always fluctuated, but it was always low. That was because I was very particular about the type of products that I would sell and the customer service we would give. So the return rate wasn't great. So you see, I've doubled the percentage from the last video purely to allow for the handling costs that these guys are going to charge you. Now, you can go down the same route and add those in all separately, and you can work out what your returns are going to be over a period of time so you get a very good handle on it. But you're going to have a cost. You're going to have an admin fee. It may be they're going to put it back on the shelf if it's brand new, unopened return. It may be that it's a parcel that never got delivered return, so that's going back on the shelf. All of those things have handling fees in. So you need to build something in, and you need to be able to work this out, whatever this is going to be. And it's going to depend on your product. And we're going to have a look at returns in a little while. But if you're selling clothing, for argument's sake, your return rate could be as high as 40%. If you're selling really focused product, which is consumable, your return rate is probably going to be less than 1%. You can fluctuate massively. It really does depend on the product line you're going for. So when you put these figures in, Obviously, you're going to be coming up with some additional information here to what it's actually costing you and where you're making some money. So if I'm buying something for 70, I'm selling it for 150, dealing with the taxes here, which is another matter, and I'm sticking with UK and European tax VAT. Obviously, for the people in the States, you've got your own state taxes, and those need to be put in as well. So here, assuming we've got 4.99 P&P, and I think on a £150 item, I would be wanting to see that at 9.99. I am now making 29.51 on a 150 over 70 purchase. So there we are. You can see how the numbers will work, and you can see you've got to put this information in so that you can get the information out. But this is the big one. This here is going to be regardless. Now, the storage cost, let's go back to that for 1 second. The storage cost, don't forget, if you send 100 items in, you are paying for those 100 items to be stored on the shelf. Now, as they sell through, obviously your storage fee is going to become less and less. So what you've got to do is start with your 100 units, end up with the 10 units before you send in the replenishment, and work out what your mean average is going to be. So if you have 100 units and it takes 6 weeks to sell them down to 20 units, then you've got to work out what your storage cost is going to be. I think what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to come out on another video on this, and I'm going to drill down on this one for you so that you can see exactly what I mean with a spreadsheet. So perhaps that should be the next video. I'm doing that one on the fly, and I'm going to do that as the next video so that you can see. Now then, the other thing you'll need to look at is your postal cost, obviously, and again, depending on what type of product you're using is going to depend on the cost. So you can have your own little matrix here of your costs, and that can be internal in the country you're sending the products, or it could be external where you're sending the products to other countries. So you can have that matrix sitting there so that you can drop that in. So now you're getting a feel on whether you're going to make any money or not, and whether it's enough money for you. So for me, going on my 5 times multiplier, a 70 cost, I'd be wanting to sell at 350, and if I can get 350 for it, what am I making? About 158. Pretty good. I'd be happy with that. I'd be very happy with that. Obviously, my platform fees go up, but does that matter? It's a marketing cost. It is a pure marketing cost. I've got to pay it. That is going to be enough for this video. And what I'm going to do on the next video, I'm going to drill down, as I said, into how this storage cost can work for you. So look out for that on the next video, guys, and I will see you shortly.